Good evening and welcome to Sports Federation TV. My name is Alton Davids. I'm your host. As you know, the show is about what makes sport happen within the Greater Western Cape. We talk a whole range of sport. Everything that happens from Cape Town all the way up to Oudtshoorn and all the way down to the Karoo, all the way out to the West Coast. So if you got interesting stories about what's happening in your community, tell us about it. Go onto our Facebook page, go onto our Twitter handle. You can tweet me, Alton Davids 25. You can also go onto Western Cape Sports fixtures and results. Put your story on there, put your video clips on there, and we'll add it. Also add your fixtures and results on there so we can add it to our community diary, which comes on at the end of the show. Today's show is very exciting. We chat about football, we chat about baseball, we chat about life saving, and we chat about tug of war. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's welcome Byron Mckeller. You well, Byron?
Very well, thanks.
Good. What's happening? How's things at the Hellenic?
Yeah, they're very good. Currently in the middle of our season in the ABC Motsepe League. And yeah, we're making a challenge for the title. We're 1 point behind the log leaders Glendine at the moment with a game in hand. So if we take advantage of that game in hand, we'll jump them into first place. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there.
You guys had a great win this week, this past week. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, this past week we beat Grassy Park 4-1. And the week before that, an even bigger win against Glendine themselves. At their ground. So away game against them, massive game. If they won, they would go 6 points clear of us. If we won, we'd be level on points with them. And we won 1-0 with an 82nd minute goal. So massive win and kept us in the title race.
But I mean, this is just the stepping stone from where you come from. If you will remember, a while back we had Byron on the show and we chatted about the Western Cape's team that was selected as part of the Metropolitan Cup earlier that went to China. Byron, tell us a bit about that. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. So firstly, the Bale, the Metropolitan Cup, is an amazing tournament, one of the biggest in South Africa, if not Africa, in terms of under-19 tournaments. And so like the hype around it is huge. Players love it. We went into it just pumped. And unfortunately, got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Mamelodi Sundowns. But I got a phone call from a friend of my mom's from her work who was at the final, and they'd announced the team that had been selected to go to China to represent the Western Cape, and I'd been selected as one of the players to play in that. So yeah, massively exciting.
What did that feel like, knowing that you were part of the best in the Western Cape going to represent the Western Cape?
Yeah, I was very surprised. At first, I said to my mom, don't post anything on Facebook. I want to hear from the actual people that it's official, it's confirmed. I want to check with my club that it's all right, that I can go and skip some of the season.
Were you already at Hellenic at that point?
Yes, yeah. I was representing Hellenic in the tournament and had been playing for Hellenic since 2012. And this is now 2014. Yeah. So I got the call and it got confirmed. Obviously hugely excited, and then the preparation building up to the actual tournament in China was about 3 or 4 months. We left the end of July, and yeah, it was amazing because there was different players from different clubs coming together to represent the Western Cape in an international youth tournament in China. 2 teams from China, the home team Luneng, and then there was the national under-19 team from China, and then a host of different international teams, big names in the football world in terms of under-19 and like first-team football. Sporting Lisbon, River Plate was another one, Wolfsburg from Germany, Sao Paulo from Brazil, and some others among them as well.
If you've just tuned in, we're chatting to Byron Mckeller from the Hellenic Football Club, who was the captain. Most people don't even know that. Was the captain of the Western Cape team that went over to China recently, and they did reasonably well. Byron, before we get to the actual tournament, what was it like trying to mold the team? I mean, you were eventually chosen as captain within the last 2 weeks, I think it was. Yeah. What was it like in that team to try and get players from all over the Western Cape to mold as a team, to play together as one unit?
It wasn't difficult. I think football in general brings people together, and although we're from different backgrounds, different teams, different clubs, different races even. Guys just come together when they're playing soccer and they're playing with the ball. So that was a huge factor, and then the fact that we were going to China and the hype around that was just so big. The guys were determined to do well. We're just so excited about playing in this massive tournament against such big names that I think it wasn't really difficult to rally them to come together as a team. So that wasn't difficult, and yeah, we're just so excited to go there and play. It was a bit difficult to, on the field, get an understanding going in such a short time between all of us because we were from different clubs. Yeah. And we only practiced once or twice a week because we already had club commitments. So that was a bit difficult going into the tournament, playing against teams who've been together for a long time. But we did really well with that in mind. Yeah.
And I mean, it was like I said, a short period of time. And going into a foreign country, you spent 2-3 days traveling.
Yeah.
Were you anxious about the food? I mean, often people talk about the food in China.
Yeah, a little bit, if I'm honest. Yeah. And we did have a few surprises. We had chicken at one point, which didn't taste like chicken and didn't look like it either, so that was a bit surprising. But otherwise, the food was amazing. New taste, but really good taste.
Good,
yeah.
Good. Let's see Byron in action. Let's check out the clip. This is Sports Federation TV. We're chatting football. We're joined in studio by Byron Mckeller, who played for the Western Cape team and is a centre-back for Hellenic. What's it like playing centre-back? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, in the Western Cape, it's a bit rough at times, but I love it. Getting stuck in, playing against some big strikers. Yeah, aerial battles, individual battles on the field. Yeah, crunching tackles, that's what it's all about.
I mean, you're 20 years old. You're playing with guys who are 25, 30. What's it like playing against these older guys? Some of them who potentially were your heroes.
Yeah, it's challenging, but I love it because it pushes me to be a better player, to up my level, and to improve in my game. And so I think if I was playing at an under 21 level, I wouldn't be improving as much as I am now, playing against guys who are older than me, more experienced. I can learn a lot from them. And very challenging physically and in terms of their skills as well on the field. But yeah, I love it.
And as a 20-year-old, do you find that the left back and right back and even the sweeper who are older than you listen to you? I mean, you're the man, the last man of defense. Do they take heed of what you say?
Actually, at Hellenic, our back line is very young.
Okay.
Our whole team is pretty young, in fact. So I have guys who are younger than me playing alongside me for the most part. There's one player who's, I think, probably a year or two older than me, but that's all. And my goalkeeper is quite a bit older than me. But otherwise, the back line is very young, yeah.
What's the ethos of Hellenic? I mean, you guys are called the Greek gods because of your Greek background and the ownership of the club. What's the ethos of the club like as compared to any other club?
Yeah, Hellenic's amazing. I think in terms of football, what they're trying to do is develop young players in the best way they possibly can, giving them a chance to go to the next level in football and to play at the first team at Hellenic. But at the same time, to have a competitive first team playing in the most competitive league that they can. And those two things are linked. Like I said, there's a lot of young players in the young team, in the first team. And so we have the young players coming through into the first team if they're good enough. But at the same time, the academy developing players a lot. And so Mark Byrne, who heads up the club, is trying to do that, develop players as well as have a competitive team competing in the top leagues. And more so than that, I just love the fact that Hellenic not only is an ambitious football club, but they're also a community in which the coaches and the whole club cares for the players. There's a good connection there. They care about school marks. They make guys bring their school marks in and make sure they're doing well. They care about what's going on in homes. It's not just about soccer and guys performing, as much as that being something that they emphasize. They also care about the players as people.
What's your personal goals going forward, 2016, 2017, as a player?
I want to continue playing at Hellenic. I'm going to see what happens at the end of the season. My contract ends, so I'll see what they do. But like I said, I absolutely love the club, so I'd love to continue playing there. And then I'm going to see what happens. If other offers come through, I'll definitely pass it through the club and see what they think first, get advice from them. But yeah, loving where I'm at right now and playing for Hellenic.
Those watching at home, what would you recommend and advice would you give them, someone who wants to start playing football or take their football to the next level?
It might sound very cliche, but I think hard work is such a key element. There's so much talent in terms of soccer in South Africa, and particularly the Western Cape, but sometimes guys just don't have the work rate and they're not willing to really work that hard. So for myself, like, I can look at the guys who I'm playing with around me in my team at the club, and they're just so talented, and I feel like I'm playing with them because I've worked really hard, and a lot of guys are a lot more talented than me, and if they would work hard, they could play at a high level. So I think that's a key element, as well as just making sacrifices, so not letting partying or girls or drugs or anything else on the side be a distraction, and just focusing on your sport, your football, if it is that.
Good. You're on Facebook, Twitter, other people follow you? I mean, you're a local hero, Byron?
I wouldn't say that. But I am on Facebook, Byron Joseph Mckeller, and I'm not on Twitter or Instagram because I think I'll just waste too much time on it. But yeah, on Facebook, so you can find me there.
Good. Thank you for spending time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next Bafana lineup in a few years' time.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Let's take an ad break. We'll see you now.